Okay, here we are. Welcome back to another episode of the Eline Podcast, everyone. We have a special guest today, JayLing, who is an all-around artist, mostly known for music, but a total artist. I've been a fan of JayLing for years. And yeah, I'm ready to get into the chat with you, JayLing.
Ah,
Hey, we're
I thank you.
first,
Can
how
I
are
start with saying thank you so much for having me? I really appreciate it. And I feel like a lot of people don't know, like we have like a different kind of connection with each other, like especially when it comes down to like the music.
Yes, the music. A lot of people don't know. I love, and by the way, so you have a project coming out soon, a
I
new
do.
single, and I got to
Hmm.
hear it early, and I was
Oh,
waiting.
wow, I forgot that.
Yes, you forgot, and it's because when you sent it, I didn't say anything back. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it, and then when we chat, I'll just mention it. But no, it was really good, per usual. And you
Thank
know how we are with
you.
music. I'll let you know like what I think are my opinions. I don't really like hide that,
Absolutely.
and it's all about just I see you and what you do. I see the work that you put in. I see the craft. I hear it. Like you are impeccable as an artist. You're one of my top
Thank you so
favorite artists in
much.
general. Like, love it. And so you know where I'm buying. And so I'm always going to give you like the real with how I feel because I want you to be your best self and I want you to grow and really just
Absolutely.
claim like everything because you deserve to be seen and known everywhere. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
I wasn't expecting all this. Wait a minute.
Well, I had to give you your flowers. Like no, it's the truth. It's the truth. And I'm one of those people. I'm not going to hold my tongue when it comes to how I feel about like I'm very passionate about how I feel and things that I like and love and I feel like I'm not going to like just hold my tongue. I have to say it. But
I
yeah,
appreciate it so much.
yeah. So we can. There's so much to get into. Like we can start from so many angles right now. I feel. But first, so how are you today?
I'm doing good. Today was like a chill day for me. Like normally I'm like working like 24/7 like on music or doing something involving music.
Mhm.
But like for the last month, well no, not the last month. Since April started, I decided to like really chill back on like working so heavy on the weekends and like moving around for music thing because I have so much like stuff done and I just be letting it just pile up. So like now I'm like, okay, let's take care of some real life stuff real quick for the month of April and like just chill and relax. So right now, that's what I've been doing, just relaxing, getting my head ready for
Yep.
the song I'm about to put out and my project and getting physically ready for everything I gotta get ready to do.
That's good because like everyone like needs to hear that like we don't need to rush all the time or like be like there's this whole
Mm-mm.
like hustle culture and I get it, but as long as you know what you're working after, you have to make that time for rest in yourself and your mental because I feel like when you have that time to rest, that's when honestly, especially as an artist, I feel that's when everything really comes to you when you just
Yeah, for
have that
sure.
time to just oof woosah. But you're known for putting in the work, so a
Oh
project.
yes, I
Now the
am.
single's coming out, but we haven't talked about
Yeah,
that. So do you have a full project coming out soon or
I do. So like I've been saying for a while, like my project is done and it has been done. But I'm so glad I didn't put it out when I decided to put it out
Mhm.
because like I felt like I was like mentally in a different space and the project definitely tells that story. But like at the same time, like I try to be like on um I try to listen and look at and I do listen and look at what my audience likes. And from my first project,
Mhm.
it's still doing very well. Like I still get great streaming numbers every week for my first project. So like I just want to make sure like I don't lose base with that audience in which I created, like that fun music. Because my new project, it wasn't fun at all. Let me just tell you, it was no fun. There's
Oh,
nothing to laugh about, nothing to
really?
party about. It was very, very introspective into where I was mentally. But now I'm adding like those fun elements, which
Okay.
is like the song that you heard.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it was fun. It was energy for sure.
yeah.
It's something that you
So
dance
like
to.
for sure.
You get
So
lit
I
too.
was like really,
Okay.
really, really happy. Like now I'm like, okay, now I can add like that funness back into it and give it like that late to the party feel or that vibe I felt like was missing.
So
So that's on my
when you say it wasn't fun, are you saying like the process, or are you just saying the type of music in terms of releasing and getting certain emotions out?
the type of music. So the music wasn't really like okay, so from our first project, Late to the Party,
Hmm.
it's very heavy leaned on the title of the project. Like
Yeah.
it was like party music and it was
Mhm.
like very fun and like very like, me. But like when I was like, okay, like after I dropped Late to the Party, I'm depressed. So like all of my music reflected
Uh,
that. So I was like, okay, if I would have put out that project in which I had, like it would have I feel like it would have made me feel good, but like I would have been like, okay, damn, I should have put more fun in there or more nasty records or like just like still showing like that side of me still. It
mhm.
was like I was introducing a whole new side and I was like, nah, we can't just jump right into that. Like I had to like, you know, build
Yeah.
it up with people. But yeah, I'm really excited for my new project. I'm really, really excited. I listen to it every single day.
Really? Okay, so can you
Yeah.
tell me how many tracks we're looking at?
Right now it's 14.
Oh, good, good. Okay.
It's a
Yeah,
good amount
we
because I'm
got
gonna work.
variety.
I'm gonna work this project. Like I'm gonna work it, work it, work it. But it's 14 tracks. I won't tell you the name of it. I'll tell you the name offline, like when we get done with this.
Okay,
But I think you're gonna like the name a lot.
really?
Um, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're gonna love the name. Everybody I've told the name to absolutely loves it. But yes, 14 songs right now for it. I have 4 music videos done. Um, I mean, it's really done. The only thing I don't have is my cover art, and that's because what I want to do for my cover art, I gotta do some things first before we can get there. But yeah,
Okay. I'm excited because
me too.
I feel like I know how you said you didn't want to just jump into like the whole different vibe and you wanted to add those elements of fun, which I know is
Hmm.
going to be a bomb project. But you know how I am when it comes to you and like what I think. And in my head lately, I was like, you know what? I was going to talk to you about this. I was going to tell you that I really think it's time that we really get to know more about your mental and how you're feeling. This, that, and the
Hmm.
third. So I love hearing that because now I feel like there we go, bingo. That's it.
Yeah, it's like this project is like brutally honest. Like, I feel like my family will hear it and be like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you felt like that," or like even friends, past lovers and stuff like that. Like it was really like mentally tilling. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had a different relationship with people. I had a different relationship with music after my first project. So now that I'm able to like put it out, I feel like when people hear it, like they're gonna understand. Like they'll definitely understand me in a different
Yes.
like light and everything. And I'm happy about that. That's what I'm really happy about.
Yeah, no, this is going to be big because this is where I think like your audience, like I feel like this is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting to know like a little bit more about you, like on that aspect, because
Yeah.
like we were talking about before we started the interview, guys, I had to get on JayLing before because I was like, when are we gonna get when are we gonna get some more pictures of you? Of course, we know we love your music, this, that, and the third, but we're ready to like know even more about you besides the music.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that and you've been on your like your crowd, your stuff per usual. So keep that up.
Mhm.
But speaking about
Yeah.
family, I want to know about your upbringing. I've always been curious. Like where are you from, siblings, parents, who's been in your life? So can we talk about that briefly?
Yeah, of course. So I'm actually from a little town in Florida called Sanford, Florida.
Oh.
Um, I was born and raised there, and I don't know why I just drew a blink. Anyways, yeah, I'm from Sanford, Florida. My mother is actually from New York. My father's from down south. Upbringing, I mean, in Florida, I tell people this all the time. Growing up in Florida, I feel like it made us like, I feel like everybody born in Florida, like it made us like really different. And like I have like a harsh, like, how do you say it? Exterior, like a rough exterior.
Mhm.
And like sometimes it kind of scares people off, but I'm like, yo, like, I'm actually really nice. But
You
I feel like
are.
Florida made me that way, like for a reason. I grew up with seven brothers and sisters. What else? Growing up in Florida just was like really difficult, like mentally. Like there's another thing. I talk about that on my project too, like growing up in Florida.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand, like growing up, even like my town is specifically, we just had like a lot of events that like really like I don't know, like altered the way that we were living, altered the way that we saw things. So like for instance, the Trayvon Martin case happened
Yeah.
in Sanford, Florida. So like
Yeah.
I was like a teenager. We were very close in age during that time period. It happened like 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, wow.
So like all of these things like were really like mentally tolling because it's like being a young kid and not really understanding like, racism to a full extent.
Hmm.
But feeling it always in Florida and feeling like that tenseness, like I was scared of cops. Like I tell everybody, like I used to be scared of cops, like terrified because everything that I associated with them wasn't good, and
Hmm.
that's because of where I grew up at,
Right.
unfortunately. But overall, like I'll probably say like I'll take it to the timeline. So I'll probably say like probably like around middle school. But I was always doing music. I always made music. I used to rap in the kitchen and in the closet like with my cousins. Like we would just be making up stuff and we'd be like, okay, um, this what we gonna rap about, and you gotta write a song about it. And we would give each other like 10 minutes.
Oh,
And we will
really?
always come back and yeah, and that's how I never thought about it, but I write really fast, and that's probably why.
Wow.
But we were like, yeah, 10 minutes, let's go. And then we come back and we rap our little shit. And then I would always rap over like other people's songs. So I would hear like a Ashanti record and I would be as she's singing it, I'm rapping, I'm rewriting what she's saying. So I would be like, okay, this is what she said. Okay, pause it. That's a lie. Let me just write what I want to say right here. Okay, pause it. And that's how I fell in love with music. And then I just had a creative writing teacher who really believed in me and really pushed me into doing and writing music creatively and doing it for real. She read my notebook because I used to walk around with a composition notebook, and I would
Yeah.
always write raps in middle school. And she read it because I left it in her class one day because I'm so forgetful. And I came back and I made my mom come back for my notebook. And I was like, yeah, mom, we got to go get this notebook. Like, this lady can't read what's in this notebook. So I remember we went back. It was like during summer school. I wasn't even in summer school. We went back and I was like, hey, like, I need my notebook. And she came up to the office and she was like, here's your notebook. I read it. And she's like, you shouldn't be saying half of the stuff that you're saying in here, but you're really talented and you really should pursue music. Like, do your thing.
Oh,
And that was the push that I needed. And then I moved to Connecticut, and I ended up meeting my best friend Kinga, and we just like what do you say she told me what it's called. It's like there's different type of soul ties with people, and
the
it
twin
was, it
flame.
was
Twin
hmm?
flames.
Yeah, that's what she said. She
Yeah,
said
twin
that. She said
flames.
we were like,
Yeah.
so definitely we have that kind of vibe with each other. Like since I met her, my career has only been on a trajectory up. And same for her as well. Like we just like
Yeah.
really, really vibed very, very well together.
Yeah. I
Like
like
one of my
your collabs and everything. And
thank
I know
you.
I really like your collabs a lot. And I didn't know that you met in Connecticut because I was just when I first met you, especially the way that you talk and everything, I just and you rap, I just assumed you've been in New York your whole life. That's literally
Yeah.
what I thought. So I remember like when we talked at
Everybody.
one point, we like the first time I think we tested or something and we were talking and you were like, talking about Connecticut or something, and I was like, "What?" Even though it's there, but like, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
assume JayLing is just like in New York all the time.
I know it looks like that, but no, not really. It's because we're so close. Like New York is only like an hour, 30 minutes from me. So
Yeah,
like a lot of work I do out there. Then when people hear me rap, they think New York. And then when people
yes,
see me, they think New York. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just a little Florida boy that's living here. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I got kicked off into music, and that was my uprising. Um and like some more things, like I said on my project, it's really introspective. Like I give a lot of how I grew up and the relationship that I have with my parents and all of this stuff. I left home when I was actually 16 years old. I've
Really?
never been back. Yeah, I left home at 16. Was like, I'm out.
So why did you leave? Why did you leave home at 16?
I was grown.
Not
No, honestly,
grown.
in all honesty, I had like a really bad relationship with my uncle that I
Mm,
used to live with. And I was like, this is just not for me. Like, like I know for me, I felt like I knew what was right and what was wrong. And I was like, I can't live in a place where I'm not happy or I don't feel comfortable. So I left home. When I was 16, I went to go live with friends, cousins, and then I just hustled and I hustled and all the way through high school I hustled. And then when I graduated, I moved to Connecticut. With all the money that I made, I literally got a plane ticket one way,
what?
packed up all I had. Yup, crazy. Packed up all I had, and I was out of there. I was like, peace.
What?
And I
Okay.
remember I was telling my guidance counselor, I was like, when I graduate, I'm leaving. And I was like, I'm going to Hawaii. And she's like, you're not going to Hawaii. She's like, you should stay in Florida. I was like, nope, I'm going to college in Hawaii. I don't want to deal with my family. And then I was like, ugh, I guess I'll go to Connecticut.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So with your family, how was your relation how is your relationship today with your parents and how was it back then? And then also I want to kind of put in like the question of of being gay in that and like how was that ever like a conversation? Like what was that? How's that? Okay, so when it comes to like your family and your parents and you moving out at 16, but also I want to know like when it comes to being like in the community of LGBTQ plus being gay, how was that for you? Did that affect you at all as a child? Did they know?
Honestly, no.
No. Okay.
Nah, it wasn't. And I'm blessed because I know many
Yeah.
people who have horror stories. But honestly, for me, no. My mother was a behavior specialist, so she dealt with
Oh
troubled
wow.
LGBT kids her whole life.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, not her whole life, but her whole career. Um, my father, I be having issues with my dad. I be having real issues with him. He's the one who's a little bit on the heavier side. Um, and I think maybe not maybe. I'm pretty sure that's why I don't have a great relationship with him at all. Just in regards to like I feel like I'm very huge on respect. And I feel like if you don't respect me,
Hmm.
we're not really gonna go too far. So me and him bump heads a lot. We don't really have a relationship at all. But it was harder for him, honestly, than it was my mom. My mom was easy. She was like, whatever, child. And that was the most important person to me, to talk, that I needed to make sure like I was gonna be in good graces. Like, I don't know. I think just because like I had like so much love for like I still have mad love for my mom, but like I said, over then we were like she was like my best friend. So it was like I
Hmm.
just wanted to make sure like I'm not gonna like make her upset or disappoint her. And she was none of the above. So that was the most important thing. Making sure my family, like my immediate sister and my immediate brother and my mom was cool with what the fuck I was doing. That's all that mattered to me. I didn't care about anything else.
Oh, good, good. So when you say immediate fam, like with your like siblings, because you mentioned that you have seven. So
Hmm
how is that in terms of like both parents, certain parent, like one parent having kids? How many do you
So
have?
my mom and my dad have three kids together. My mom and my dad had gotten married. And that's how they ended up having children. But my dad was a Rolling Stone, so my dad actually had three kids in 1 year,
What?
um, by three different women. Two of them were born on the same day. Yeah, this is like we have
Scandalous.
like technically twin. I have twin siblings, but they're not from the same mom.
What? I've never heard
Yeah,
that.
my same day, same hospital. One was upstairs, one was downstairs.
Mhm.
Hmm
What? So
So hmm?
how are your relationships? I'm sorry, I feel like I just cut you off.
No, you're okay. How my relationship with my siblings? So me and
Yeah.
my sister, me and my immediate family, we have a good relationship. But my like not so immediate siblings, we don't really talk. Like we really don't talk. And I have had in time periods relationships with them, like good relationships, good strong relationships. And then like I just feel like over time, like it just kind of fell apart. So like I have an older sister who I don't really talk to too much. I feel like she be playing in too much of the bullshit with my dad. And then I have older brothers. I'm actually the youngest, so everybody's older than me.
Oh, okay.
Um, I have older brothers who, I mean, they're just kind of just there. One of my brothers do music. It's crazy. All of my brothers have done music.
Really?
My oldest brother was a rapper. My oldest brother was a rapper. My second oldest brother, he actually used to sing in the church choir. I know, crazy, right? And then my other brother, who is closer to me in age, he's a rapper too. Like he currently still raps. He's really good.
What? I've never known
I'll
this.
show you his music.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
please
don't
do.
share it. I'll be low
Please
key.
do.
I'll be
I'm
like, yo,
interested now. So, like, what are your
I'll
brothers'
share
names?
it. I'm the better rapper. What you
Huh? What'd you just say?
say?
No, you did
So I'm
not.
the better rapper. I
Okay,
am.
there you go. I'm just letting it be known. I love you, brother, but I'm the better rapper.
Always gotta let him know.
So, what are their opinions on your music, like your brothers?
Mm, my brother who currently raps, like he really fuck with my music. He really fucking with my music. He likes it. Um, my other brother, I have a brother who has autism, who's my immediate brother.
Oh, okay.
He loves my music so much. He don't really like my rapping songs. So I like send him like my alternative music because I make rap and then I make like this whole different genre of other music that no one will ever hear that's locked away.
Oh,
And those are
wow.
the songs that I send him and he really loves those songs.
Really?
So yeah. So and then my church choir brother, I don't think he's ever heard me. I don't think he's ever heard my music. And my older brother, he heard my old music and he said I was really good. So I guess he likes it. The girls are supportive.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
girls are like, "Let's get up out of here!" Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like we're gonna do. I'm gonna do your man. I'm like, they're crazy. The girls are supportive. They fuck with me. They fuck with me.
Oh my gosh. So, how's JayLing in love? Let's talk about love, relationships. I'm just going there. I told you we're gonna talk about something. I told you
All right.
I know
I mean,
something.
see, I never get asked this. You say you know some things?
You know, I said I don't know something, so I want to know some things.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Well, first, let's talk about how many people have you dated in the past? Like how many full-blown relationships have you been in? And what was your longest relationship?
I've been in two relationships.
Okay.
My longest relationship was from the age of 15 to the age of 23.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I know I was locked down. I'm like a really so that explains it. Like I'm a really like I don't like to be out in the streets. I'm not a hoe. Like I don't like being promiscuous. I don't like having multiple people around me. Like I just like to be with one person. Like I'm a lover, like
Yeah.
through and through. So yeah, that was my longest relationship. And then after that, I probably took like a 3 month break and I started dating somebody else. So yeah,
So, and then you started dating someone else. Okay. So that person that you've been in a relationship with for what was that, like 8 years or so, between the 15 and 23, are there any like songs that you've mentioned them in without mentioning their names that you really talked about or expressed like your relationship issues or anything or like love or whatever you've gone?
yeah. More so just like anger. Like I feel like with my first relationship, like a lot of I feel like I was fucked over. Like I had a bad experience at love. Like I thought like this is what love was supposed to be, and it wasn't what love was supposed to be. There
Yeah.
were elements of love involved in it, but
Mhm.
like now that I get older, I'm just like, yeah, this was really fucking toxic and really horrible. But me and that ex, we still talk. Like we're still friends.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
yeah, his parents are like my parents. So like, yeah. Um, but as far as him, probably like I got a song called Love Them.
Yep.
That's definitely about him. But
Really?
other than that, not him, not really. I feel like more so like my second relationship, that relationship, I was just like distraught. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. Like I was just like really, really like heartbroken, and I was like, yo, like some of my saddest music. Like on my first project, there's a song I have. It's called Encore,
Yep.
and I love that. That's like my favorite song. And I remember I recorded that song the day before I submitted my project to be distributed. And I was like, this song gotta go on the project. Like it has to be a part of it because it's how I feel. And it was like so that's my favorite song ever.
Encore. I didn't know that.
But
So
yeah,
what was your favorite song? Okay, so after this, I'm just gonna re-listen to it, even though I've listened to it the other day.
yes.
I'm gonna listen to
Anybody
it
who's listening,
again
yes.
now, knowing this.
Encore is my favorite song I've ever made.
You know
Hands
what I
down.
really like? Confessions. That was
You like
different.
Confessions?
That was different. I re-listened to it like Friday. And I don't know, I haven't listened to it in a while. That's not my favorite, but I'm saying in terms of like, I really like re-listening to it. I really liked it because it was just,
Hmm.
maybe that was my version of like you really kind of like giving us a little something different in terms of like in the inside of expressing yourself.
Yeah.
And,
So
and I think
Confessions,
that's what
like
it
I
was.
actually
Cause you spit. You're gonna give us like so
thank you.
I'm just gonna give us like some wordplay. You're gonna give us that, this, that, and the third. But sometimes you want something
Uphill
different.
back is nice. Yeah. So with Confessions, I always say Confessions is like my little art piece. I'm like, this is my little piece of art that I really wanted to give because I was like, I don't give a fuck how nobody takes it. Like this is the song that I want to put out right now. And like I was in a situation with I was in a label kind of arrangement thing. And the song I was gonna put how can I say this? After I got out of it, I wanted to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. So that's how Confessions came about. And typically, that's like songs I would never put out. Like that song, I would just keep because I'm like, they don't want to hear this. Like they don't care. But that one, when it was time to put it out, I was like, I don't give a fuck how nobody feels. Like I just feel like, you know, let me put this out. Like I feel like this is an art statement. Like I want to just be different, and I'm sick of hearing all this booty music. So let me just like open up the different lane, I guess.
Yes, and I think that's what it was. Like when I re-listened to it, I was like, hmm. And even like me right now, the way that I'm listening to music, I'm kind of my mind is shaping differently because actually recently I actually deleted all of my music. And I want
What?
Yeah, I deleted all of my music and I said, okay, Mark, I want to start over because I'm in this big stage of self-exploration, this, that, and the third, whatever. And your music came to my mind. And so like even as I'm adding your music, I'm making sure I'm just adding certain things that come to mind or as it comes. But
Like, oh, I want to hear that.
hmm?
Like you're adding it as like, oh, I would like to hear that. I want to
Yes.
revisit that. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how I'm adding it. Yeah, no. So that's why but when I say this, I think I've been connected to like a lot of stuff that's pouring out to like the soul or people like I know when the artist is like, okay, I'm writing this song just because I want to let some things out. And I think
Hmm.
that's why I connected with that. But
Yes, I'm
so,
so happy you got that.
yes, thank you. But okay, so let's talk about like you in collabs, being like in the community of like, let's say the LGBTQ plus community. How has that been for you with like collabing with other artists like that?
Um, I always hear like horror stories and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
for me, I haven't really had any bad things happen. You know what? The first thing that happened, I will be honest, the first thing that happened with me that really like changed how I looked at like collabing with people
Hmm.
was when I had put out my first project. And on my first project, I got a song on there called Conceited. It's like the first song on my project. And I remember when my album came out, everybody was like so excited and so happy. And it made me feel really good. Like I got a lot of support. Um, we charted at like number 37 or something like that, which is like great. Like this is like great, great, great things for an artist. But I just remember like the artist that I had featured on a song, like he wasn't helping me promote the song, and I don't know why that made me feel like
Yeah.
away.
Hmm.
It made me feel like very much like, okay, um, I'm gonna be cautious of who I work with now.
Right.
I'm gonna be really, really cautious. But in regards to collabing, I've collaborated with pretty much every goddamn body in our LGBT underground thing. I don't know why they keep calling on me. Um, but I've collaborated with everybody. I've had some really, really great experiences. I would say who's I wanna speaking of hard workers, like hardworking
Yeah.
people who come to mind when it comes down to doing music is Jet Jeff. Jet Jeff works really, really hard and he
Yes.
works very diligent. Very diligent. Yeah, he's really, really dope. Um, Callie M. I
Okay.
love Callie. I be wanting to just rant and rave about Callie, but I don't want to seem like a stan. And like even when I asked him for a feature, like I don't know why, like I was just so nervous. I don't know why. I just like respect him
Because
so
you
much.
really
Like
like his
he's
work, I guess, and that's normal.
yeah.
You really like
He
somebody's
makes me
work.
nervous. He really makes me nervous, and I'm like, should I ask?
It's crazy seeing Jay
But
Lang be nervous because I will say I feel like in the community, I feel like you are really like a big like known name when it comes to like a community of in the LGBTQ of like rapping, music, this, that, and the third. Because if somebody gets
Mhm.
that Jay Lang feature, then you already know it's about to hit. So that's how I look at it. Oh my gosh,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
who I really love, one of my favorite collabs that you have, Isaiah C.
Cool.
Isaiah C.
Okay.
I
Okay.
love when you two collab. Like I was listening to Body the other day, and then I also love one of my favorite songs is off of his project is Big Boss. And like
Okay.
but the way that you just come in, but I love your voice. I love the way that you oh like I'm like JayLing, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I think I've heard that before too, especially when I'm in Atlanta. A lot of people say that. They say they really like me collaborating with Noel,
Oh yeah.
Mix, and they really like me collaborating with Isaiah C. And then the people up north be like, I really like when you work with Zawul, and they really like when I work with Kinga.
Oh yeah, of course, King. Zal was pretty nice because Zal was the one who's on Regular Hope.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, not the
my
remix.
baby.
Yes, your baby. We love Regular Hope. Like that. Regular Hope is a whole ass era because I feel
That
like
song changed my life.
yes, it was going on. Like it was a whole era, and then you had the remix, and that had 70, and then that had Noel in there, and they ate
Mhm.
that too. I'm gonna give them their flowers. They ate like you all ate, but Regular Hope
I
is
love
just
them.
that's my jam right there. When I want to get lit, I'm just like, let me put on
People
this.
will randomly DM me and they be like, he want a nigga that look like me. He don't want to fuck with no regular hoe. They're like, yes. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't realize like with that song, like people was gonna fuck with it. Like I remember we rehearsed and we did rehearsing for the music video was treacherous. Like we were
Oh, really?
rehearsing for felt like 2 years. Horrible, horrible, long ass story. But nevertheless, I remember when we were after everything wrapped and the song was like still going up and streaming for me. So I'm like, okay, like we're doing the music video, like it's coming, it's coming. And then we did the music video, and that brought more life into it. And then like I remember moving around New York like shortly after, and people like I'm going to club events, and I'm doing rehearsals, and people would know my song, and I'm like, what the
Yes.
fuck is going on? I'm like, oh my God. So like I don't Regular Hole definitely changed my life. And it's actually a diss record, which makes me so happy.
Oh, because it's a diss record. Oh, was it like a diss
Yeah,
like who like a friend, like an old friend, or a relationship?
no. So honestly, I was dealing with this guy, and he was a rapper, and he had some bum ass friends who didn't like me
Mhm.
because they liked him. It was just like a big, long, drawn out thing. And I remember one day I was just like so fed up because he would always tell me, "Don't say anything, like don't feed into it." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm putting my music. I don't want to blast off on anybody, but I want to have like fun." And that's when I was like, he want a nigga that look like me. He don't want to fuck with no regular hoe.
Uh,
And that's how we got there.
what? It's so catchy. I feel like it's one of those songs that is going to like come back out of
I
like
be
the
thinking that too.
I think it is. I feel like it's going to like be one of those reels or TikTok things too. And I feel like out of the blue, it's just going to blow up again. Like it's just like I feel like that's going to happen. Watch, mark my words.
One can
Watch. I
only
feel like
pray.
it
One can
because
only pray.
yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was meant just for like the era when it was coming out. I feel like it's meant to come back. Like it's definitely.
Yeah, I always feel like that song is like meant to definitely be a bigger song. Like, and it definitely for me right now, like when I see people who just randomly quote it or like even like knowing it, like and things like that. And everything I've been able to accomplish off that one song, like it means so much to me that I'm like, okay, with it pop tomorrow and it's not on my next project, we're going back to the first project. Because I
Yeah,
really love that song so much.
me
So
too.
much.
I also like when you drop like little single, well, not little singles always. I don't know why I say that, but when you drop singles like Ransom and Big Perm, those are two of my favorites.
Oh,
Like,
word.
those are two of my
Okay.
favorites. So I'm just throwing that out there. I love those when you just drop those singles like that. Risk was really
Those
good.
are two of my favorites.
Really?
Actually, that's really crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are two of my favorites that I've dropped.
But
Like a
Big,
single, I almost wish I didn't put Ransom out as. I mean, I wish I didn't put Big Perm out. I wish I would have held on to it
yeah,
because I really love that song.
yeah, not hold out. Yeah, I feel like Big Perm definitely deserved to be on a project for sure instead of like
I love
out
that
as a single
song.
by itself. So you can always bring it back. You can do what you want to do. But speaking of that,
Okay.
you were mentioning that so you are out of that label. You're not out of that deal with that label you were with because I know you got signed a few months. Was this like last year sometime? So are
Yeah,
you
so it was actually
anybody right now or no?
no, absolutely not. And I say that because I gotta be clear because I don't want anybody to misinterpret or like think anything other. I'm not signed with nobody. I never. Here's the thing: I never was signed to anybody. So like,
Hmm.
I had to. Let's talk about Pink Gorilla. I never talked about this. I never talked about this. So let's talk about the Pink Gorilla situation, how it even came
Yes,
about.
that's the name, Pink Gorilla. Okay.
Um, when I had put out Regular Ho and it started gaining traction, and I was working Regular Ho through New York, and through CT, and through Atlanta, and all the ways that I could work Regular Ho. Somehow, some way, it came across their desk, and they reached out to me and were like, "Can we have a conversation?" So I was like, "Yes, of course." I don't really know much about you guys, but of course, I'm interested. Oh, we good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I was like, of course I'm interested. So we ended up setting up a date and meeting in New York. But I knew Bugs from when I first started doing music. Because I was supposed to do a song with him. And I ended up not doing it, like on some like childish shit or whatever. But when I met him in New York again, he was with his partner at the time, and they both own this LGBT label out of New York. It's called Pink Gorilla. And when I met them, we had conversations regarding what I was looking for, what I needed to advance in, and what I wanted to bring to their table, what they would bring to the table for me, etc. etc. Um, and at first, it was really, really a great thing. Like no complaints, no nothing. We were just working really hard, and I would say that was some of the funniest times of my life. Probably like last summer. Like those were really, really fun times, just in regards to gaining notoriety in New York and moving around in New York and performing everywhere that I possibly
Yeah.
could. It was really, really fun, but I feel like things just didn't work out. Because for me, I was used to being an independent artist and not moving on nobody else's time, like for like a year and a half to 2 years. So now that I'm under this management situation, I don't know, like I'm not the type to sit. I don't sit down. I don't know how not to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I build with my audience consistency. So I would like to continue to be consistent.
Right.
I didn't want to wait for my project to come out and I didn't want to wait months for singles to come out. Like I didn't it was a lot of things like I just didn't feel comfortable with. So I decided to exit the situation. Um and it ended in like it ended in a blow, but a respectful blow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I said what I had to say. They took it how they took it. They said what they had to say, and then we moved on.
Hmm.
But I could tell, like, I think if we would have been having a conversation in person, no, I think it still would have ended. I think it still would have ended the same way, just because it was like things that I had already discussed before. Like it just wasn't. I wasn't being heard. I wasn't being heard at all. And it's like nobody. I feel like nobody knows my audience better than me.
Right.
So it's like I just wasn't being heard. I was not being heard. And that was a really big, 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 big thing. for me. And I started feeling trapped and depressed and like, oh my God, like I was just like, I
Mm,
can't create. I can't create. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I can't put out music. Like that would make me happy. And, I'm doing everything behind the scenes, but like, nah, I gotta get these words out to people. Like I
yes.
want people to hear it. And I was just like so depressed. And I remember the last day, like I was just so like over it and broken down. And I was just like, look, this is how I feel. If I'm not able to do this and this and that, then I don't want to do it.
Right.
And we ended up coming to the agreement that it just wasn't a good fit for me.
Mm. Well, I'm happy that you spoke your truth and you know yourself and your audience enough to just say, hey, this is
Yeah.
me. And especially as an artist, like you want to express yourself. You want, and you're used to like working, you're used to like releasing when you want to release and being at the beat of your own drum. And so having
Hmm.
other people kind of control that or like be like, oh no, this, that, and the third. That's very, especially for an artist, that sucks because you just want to let it out.
It does because it's like, damn, like I might feel like at 12:30 a.m. I might want to drop a
Right.
random freestyle or whatever the case may be. Or you know what, this is how I feel this week. Let's get a video together, like how I did with Who's That Boy, the record that I sent you. I wrote that song the 9th, recorded it the 11th, shot a video probably like the 13th, something like those lines. Like while I could have been able to do all those things with them, I would have not been able to release it
Hmm.
when I wanted to release it like how I am now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know it all came from a place of like wanting the best for me. Anybody that I work with, they always want the best for me, not just because of my talent, but because of who I am as a person, like who I show people who I am. So ultimately, they want the best for me. But I feel like at the same time, it's like you want what's best for me from your perspective.
Mm,
You don't want what's best for me from my perspective and what I've already built up.
that part.
So for me now, like I wouldn't say I wouldn't go or work with another label or anything like that. I would just say like it just gotta make um more sense. And even now, like setting up like label deals and like not label deals but label meetings. First off, it's very treacherous to set up one meeting with a label, just one meeting. Um So it's like even now, like I'm trying to like make sure like with the meeting that I do have coming up, like everything is straight. Like we got music videos in the cut, we got great music, we got a look to it, we got pictures, we got everything I'm bringing to the table. Like I don't get help with shit.
Yeah.
I don't ask anybody for help with creative directing. I don't ask anybody with help with music. I don't have to ask anybody with help with anything. Everything I do from my looks and down on. So I want to keep that control. If
Yes.
I'm able to keep that control and they are able to bring something to the table that benefits me, then of course I'm ready to. I want to work. I want to work.
Mm, he's letting it be known. But no, right. No, but I love that because I feel like with like a lot of labels, everything is always goes down to like money and people trying to be super strategic with things. And I understand that they're like, hey, I want to make sure
Yeah,
that things are happening. But you also have to understand that the artist isn't just this puppet all the time. You can't,
yeah.
it's not like a lot of
We're
labels.
not a product. Like we're
You're not a
not just like
Yes, it's
yeah. Like
like
it's
you're
like I'm
something
a real
that you put on a
person.
shelf. There's like, oh, like let's say, for example, they're like, oh, JayLing, he does this. So this is who he is. So we're gonna advertise him. This is who he is. Whenever we feel like we should put this out, let's put this out. We'll put that out. But for me, I really love like a lot of indie artists or artists that get to have that independent freedom to be themselves and release things when they want to because I feel like I
It's
connect
so good.
and that's what you're doing. So just please continue to like
Are we?
you are and do what you're doing. And like I'm so proud of you for just doing that and speaking your truth because I feel like especially like your audience, anyone who's going to be listening to this, I feel like they're going to respect you even more because I know I do. Because
Yeah.
yeah, when I follow someone, I want to like when they put out something, I don't want it to be like, okay, let me put this out because I think this is a good time because a lot of people are talking about this, that, and the third. No,
I
sometimes
don't want
like,
to
you
do
need like what you said with your single that's coming out. Because I did see that when you posted it about how one day you wrote it, Then like a day or two later, you recorded it, and then you did the video. And actually, after hearing it, like it's a bop. It's coming straight from like it's just like, but it's like it's you, and you
It
want
was a vibe, and I felt that. And well, we could talk about it because I believe by the time this interview comes out, if you want to talk about the record, we can talk about it. But
to.
it's like when I wrote it, I was just like, fun. I was like, yo, I feel fun right now. Like, let's have some fun. I wrote
Yeah,
it, and I was like, it was stuck in my head, and I went to the studio, and I was like, let's get it out the way, man.
yeah, exactly. I like that a lot. So, in terms of like who you are with your career, your music, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself like, I don't know, like do you have like a vision of yourself, let's say 5 years, 10 years? I don't even really want to put years on it, but what are like your goals and passions when it comes to you as an artist?
You know what? I used to be scared to reach for the moon and reach for the stars and stuff like that. I'm not scared no more. Like I know for a fact, like I want to in in 5 years from now, I want to have two albums under my belt that are respected, that have I want to have like a solid following.
Hmm.
I want to have said that I have performed at an award shows. I want to say that, I'm working on a movie or, like those are things I want for myself. I want to be in a horror movie. Like I really want to be like I really want to get into the horror genre. Like I want to do horror movies. Like that's what I want to do. Like, people say, "Oh, I just want to act. I want to act."
Yeah.
No, I'm very clear. Like if I get into acting, the genre that I want to primarily be in is a horror. Like that's what I want my legacy to be. And with my music, I want my music to touch like so many more people. The amount of people that it touches now
Yeah,
makes me happy, but I want that shit to stretch out, and it will stretch out.
it will. Mhm.
And hopefully in a good situation financially, um, and just like really going up. Like I don't see myself as an underground artist. Like I don't, and there's no knock to anybody who does see themselves like that, or anybody who's been kind of stuck in that loop of being an underground artist. But I don't see myself staying here. I
Mhm.
see it like going upper, but I see it going up because it could be me, it could be you, it could be any of the LGBT artists that are going to break that barrier and going to open that door for us.
Yes.
And that's how I really see it happening. Like one of us, somebody, I
You're,
don't
de
know who.
you're definitely one of them with what you're already doing. Like I already see it, how I am about you. I already know you are for sure. And I'm ready for
uh,
your moment to happen. Like I'm really ready for your moment because you
but regardless if it happens for me or you or the next person, I just think like that's all it needs. Like we just need that
yeah.
one of us to get through that door. And I know for me, like if I get through there, I'm looking back like, hey, come on, let's do this. Or, oh, we didn't do a feature then, but let's do a feature now because it'll be more beneficial for your career. And hopefully this helps you out. Like that's how I just see it. I just want to be helpful. I
And you
really, really just want to be helpful.
And I've noticed that even like the way that you collab with like other artists in the community, this, that, and the third, and just like when I just see your like your activity online, this, that, and the third, I've always put up your energy in terms of like you're authentic and you really just want to grow and help and you want to see everyone win around
I
you.
do,
Yeah, you do, and I see that,
especially
and it's
around
very
me.
clear. So thank you because I've seen so many like other artists or people online who they'll say one thing and say like, "Hey, I'm this way," and then they'll turn around and that's not the case. Because I'm one of those
Not at
people
all.
who want to help everyone around me. Like I feel like that's just what we need to do as beings on this planet. Like we have to support and uplift each other. We're not gonna go anywhere if we just are like trying to be crabs in a bucket, you know?
I agree 1,000%. I agree 100,000%. And
Right.
that's how I see it. Like I have a song. It's called "The Score," and in the song, I even say in the song, I said, "These niggas crabs in a bucket," and I hate that. Like I really hate that.
You too.
People
Yeah.
see shit like it could only be one. Like no, it hasn't worked. It's never going to work. Like how many LGBT stars have we had underground wise, with the exception of Lil Nas X and Saucy Santana, where they've had a career jump or an opportunity to advance their career and they end up fucking it up moving selfishly and then they just kind of stay in this whole loop.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what I be studying. I be studying on my off time, like in my chill time. I be studying. Okay, how you did this? Okay, where you fucked up here? Okay, this is how I'm going to get here.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the people who really like, I know for a fact, like not I know for a fact, but I'm sure they can attest to it. Is Seven Deep. I
Uh,
remember when Seven Deep had his first his music video that came out. It was for a really big song that he had, "Break My Back." Break My
yes,
Back,
that's the name. I was trying
and
to think of it. I like that song a lot.
yeah, yes, and he had I don't even think the song had even came out yet, but he had a music video viewing for it, and I went to it in New York, and I went alone. I didn't go with nobody. I was just out there like dolo because I like to research. Like I'm very very I'm like I want to learn. So I
Yeah.
remember going there, and I sat over there in the corner, and of course I said hi to him. I let him know I was there and everything. And I watched that video, and I said, "Oh my god, this is gonna go viral. Like this is gonna go sick." And this is before the song and the video went sick. And I remember went over to him, and I was like, "You're a psychopath." I was like, "You're crazy," but I was like, "Okay, now I know where you went here and you did that and you did this. Got you." So when I went and I did the video for Regular Ho, um, I remember we were doing rehearsals and I was like, "Well, I just left Seven thing over here and he was da 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 da. So what we gonna do is we gonna take it a
Yeah,
touchdown. We gonna do da da
exactly.
da 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 da." And it paid off because Regular Ho was definitely like a dope little record for me. So yeah, I like researching them and seeing like how we can get up out of here and help each other, man. Because there's always an angle,
Yes, and
always
that's
a
what I'm
motherfucking
looking
angle.
forward to as well. Like we like I feel like yes, we have like two people in our community who are like making it, and there are like so many artists, kind of like how like how female rap is going, this, that, and the third, and how that's like a journey. But for like the LGBTQ community, I feel like we need more. We need to be seen more. We definitely need to be seen more, and we need to
I
support each
agree.
other for sure. The support,
Definitely support each other
support
more.
each other
Yeah.
more, guys. Like let's support each other more because you can do this, he can do this, she can do this, we can do this, and we can all be
No
successful.
ass.
Not one person has to be like the best. Like I think a lot of people get so stuck in like their ego sometimes, and it's like you have to
Hmm.
learn how to balance that ego out a little bit and just
And
say,
it's really easy to get stuck and to get trapped into your ego because people.
yeah,
I feel like with artists and when you have friends or like you have supporters, they gonna tell you you the best. They go like, "Oh, you the best. Oh, you fucking amazing. You rock." And if you settle into that shit and you actually just be like, "Yeah, well, you know what? I am the motherfucking best." But like,
yeah,
it really starts taking a toll on your mental. But there's nothing wrong with. For me, I don't like I hate compliments. They make me so uncomfortable. Oh my god! Like I'm just like
I feel that. I'm the same way.
they make me so uncomfortable. But it's like when people who there's even times when people will post stories and they're like, "Oh, JayLing is the king," da, 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 and I won't repost it because I'm just like I don't want to come off that way.
Yes,
Like I don't want to be like I don't want to. How do I say it? I don't want to be on no level like that. I don't want that kind of
I
heat.
feel
I
like
don't want that.
it's like a very like
I
a
want to be the best. I do want
self-loathing,
to be the best. Huh?
self-loathing. I don't know, something like that. But
Yeah,
I
like
know what you're saying because like how you peep things, I'll do that too. I'll like see how people like will like repost certain things in their stories or like things like that. Like it's cool. I understand some people just still want like the repost because like they're supporters, but at the same time they like I feel like there are some people they'll repost it just because they're like, I gotta let them know I'm the best, and I'm like, okay, cool.
and
Let
even
be the
sometimes
best in
I
your
feel like that.
ego. Be the best in your
Sometimes I
ego.
feel like that. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
No, that's
let
fine.
me show these bitches who the fuck I am.
No, that's
But only
fine.
because I feel like even with the respect that I get, I still be feeling like I'm slept on. I don't know. I still feel like people don't really see me like y'all know, like they know I can rap, but it's like why are you not? I don't know, like why I feel like I'm slept on, but I feel like people respect me. but I feel like they haven't seen my full ability on what I'm able to do as a rapper, which is crazy to say because people will think like, "Oh my gosh, you have psychotic verses out, great verses." But for me, it's like still like I know I can go harder, and I'm like, once I get